Today we are going to be doing some more looks with the Muse Beauty Impressionism palette. I filmed with this like 2 days ago and I already want to play more with this. So I feel like that says a lot about the potential of this palette and how much fun I had with this in my first impression video. I'll have that linked up there if you want to go check it out. But so far I'm so impressed with this palette. If you somehow didn't watch my first impression video, here's what the palette looks like. It is stunning. This is a very new indie brand.
Hi, editing me. So the brand actually reached out to me after I was done filming all of my looks, asking if I wanted a code with them, and you will see after the video why I was so quick to say yes, but I just wanted to let you guys know that you can save 10% off by using my code Annette10 at checkout for your first order. It is going to be an affiliate code, but it will also save you some money. So that's all I wanted to say. Let's get back to the video.
This is the first palette that they have come out with, and I am so excited to play more with this, so we're just gonna jump straight in. I think I'm gonna try to use a couple of different eyeshadow primers in this video just so we can kind of compare, you know, and see if there's any difference. So for the first look, I'm gonna use my Kaleidos primer. This is the Tone Activator Eye Primer. So my goal for this video is basically just to use all of the shadows at least once, because that way I'll have a good idea of the formula and I feel like I can give you guys a thorough review of this palette. I will say the one thing that kind of sucks about this brand is that they only ship within the States. I think so many of you guys said that they didn't ship to your country. I know they're working on being able to ship to Canada, but I can't promise that they will expand to like worldwide anytime soon, which sucks, but I'm sure there's so much that goes into, you know, getting things to be shipped all around the world. Like, it's probably not that easy, so it's probably something that's going to come with time. So just for, you know, the time being, this is probably just a palette that you can get if you live in the States. And I'm sorry about that, but I still want to play more with this palette because it's so beautiful. And I feel like if there are any looks that you really like, take a look in your own collection and see if maybe you can dupe the vibes of the look that I do and just find similar shades and try to create something similar. You don't need this palette to create looks that are, you know, close to what I'm doing, because this really is just colored powder and you all probably have a bunch of that in your collection already. So let's see, what do I want to do for today's look? Should I maybe try to come up with something that's going to go with my outfit? I mean, obviously I feel like anything's going to go with this except for maybe green. But I guess what I want to mainly focus on for today's look is the red shade, because I really want to play with that. I think it could be so fun. So I'm going to start off by taking the shade Poppies, and I think I'm just going to slap that all over my lid and then probably top it with this duochrome. I know I've already used that one, but I just really want to see how it looks all spread out over my lid and we can really get that duochrome effect. So I think I just want to make this into a bit of a smoky eye. I don't know if I want to do the same under my eye. I probably will, and then do some kind of a blown out inner corner. I just love doing looks like this because they are so easy. So I'm going to start by taking the red shade here on a bit of a packing brush. And I'm going to use this one from Smashbox. I don't even know if this has a name. I bought this at an outlet a long time ago, but any kind of flat packing brush with a bit of a fluffy edge will do the job. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm just going to pack this all over my lid and then blend it into my crease. You probably don't need to have a base for that duochrome, but I feel like it's just going to pop a little bit extra if I do have a bit of a base down. And I also just want to see like how this color is going to perform on my lid. So it's definitely very pigmented here. It doesn't have really any fallout yet, which is great. So hopefully we're going to be able to get away with not having to clean up too much after this. I find that I always get the most fallout on my face when I try to put a matte all over my lid, which is why I don't really do it very often. I am going to switch to another brush to really blend this out with though, once I've gotten this as high up as I feel like I need it to be. But this is going on the eye very nicely here, and it's definitely a true red. I don't really feel like it's pulling too pink. It's maybe pulling a little bit pink just where I'm gonna blend it out, but I feel like that's just because it shears out and it kind of mixes with the eyeshadow primer. But I would definitely call this a very true red, which I feel like you don't really see that in a lot of palettes. I feel like a lot of palettes try to have a true red, but they never really end up being, you know, actually red. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my referral number 13 brush, and I'm gonna put some of this on my brush and then start blending this out in my crease here. Just gonna take my time and try to get a good blend. So this is blending out to look a little bit more pink, but like I said, I kind of expected it to happen because when reds shear out, they tend to do that. And this is blending out so well. I think this looks great. I think what I'm gonna do next, we're just gonna go in with that shimmer shade, and then I'll make sure that everything is blended nicely after. I'm gonna find my NYX glitter primer and I'm gonna put on a little bit of this. I feel like this look is going to be very quick, but sometimes it's nice to do some looks that don't take forever too. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take some of that primer on both of my lids here. I don't want to take it too high up because I do want to make sure I'm able to blend that shimmer shadow out, but I mostly want it to be like in the middle of my lid, especially where I have a crease, because this is going to prevent the shadow from creasing during the day. And then once I have the glitter primer on where I want it, I'm just going to take the same brush and dip into the shade Scintillate, which was this duochrome here, and I really think that we're going to be able to get a beautiful look out of this. I'm so curious to see what this shadow is going to look like on top of a full red smoky eye here. I feel like this is going to look so beautiful. Yeah, that is really, really pretty. And I also feel like because this isn't like the most metallic of formulas, it's going to be fairly easy to blend into my crease here as well. And I am leaving a little bit of room just in my inner corner because I do think I want to go in with some kind of a different color there just to kind of spice this look up a little bit. Not that it's not spicy enough already, but you know what I mean. I just can't help myself. So now that I've put this basically over my lid where I want it to be, I'm just going to take the edge of this brush. This is my MAC 242, and I'm going to take a little bit more of this shimmer shade and just kind of use the edge of this to blend this into my crease. And I'm trying to make sure that I pull this shadow up high enough that when my eyes are open, you can see a little bit of depth like kind of poking through. But I don't want the shimmer to be all up in my crease, because then I find that when the light kind of hits the shimmer, it just makes my eyes look a lot more hooded, which I know I've talked about that in the past, but I just don't really like when you can see a shimmer above the hood of my eye too much. So I think this looks nice for now. I'm thinking I just want to do the same under my eye as well, because I can't really think of any other colors that are going to really, I don't know, tie this together. So I'm just going to go back in with that red shade, and I'm just going to smudge that under my eye. It's not going to be anything fancy at all here. And you can really see now that it is definitely pulling red under my eye because I don't have any eyeshadow primer down there, which I think is awesome. I'm gonna go back in with my blending brush here and just make sure that I blend everything out. And so far, I'm so impressed by the matte formula from this brand. And it makes me so excited to see what they're gonna come out with in the future, because I'm having such a good time, such an easy time playing with this palette. And that is something that's going to make me want to play with this more and constantly keep reaching for it. Like, if I have to struggle with the formula, that is such an off-putting thing for me. It's like, yeah, I can, but like, if I can choose something else to work with that's going to take way less time, I would rather that than reach for something that has maybe a better color story, but I don't like the formula of. As someone with such a big eyeshadow collection, if I struggle with a palette, it's probably not going to ever get used again, and that's just kind of how it is. I'm gonna just one last time go back into that shimmer shade that I have on my lid and make sure that this is as intense and blend it out as I'm able to get this. Let's see, what do I want to do for my inner corners? Do I want to do anything crazy? I'm almost thinking I want to use a little bit of the green, but I'm also like, that might be a little too Christmassy. So I don't know. Should I maybe use this turquoise? I feel like that could be really fun. I know I already used that, but I mean, I have 3 looks to play with here, so I'm definitely going to be able to use all of these shades eventually. And I feel like I almost used half of the palette in my first impression look. I'm going to use the shade Coast because I just think it's going to look so cute. I'm going to go ahead and just spray this a little bit so that we don't get any fallout with this. And I'm going to pop this in my inner corner, and I'm gonna also, oh, that is so beautiful. I'm gonna meet that up with the lid shade that we have going on here. And of course you could just use some kind of a champagne or some kind of a face highlighter to do this if you wanted to recreate something similar, but you don't like the colorful inner corner highlight. Personally, I love that. I'm such a sucker for a colored inner corner highlight, especially with a smoky eye. I just think that it looks so fun. I don't know about you, but this just makes me so happy. I'm thinking I'm gonna take a little bit of this absolute lightest shade in the palette, which is called Wisp. I know I used that in my first impression inner corner as well, but I'm just gonna take a tiny bit of that on the same brush and just tap a little bit of that just in the very inner corner here, just to kind of lighten up this blue a little bit. Yeah, it doesn't make the biggest difference, but I feel like it makes enough of a difference that it's maybe worth the extra step here. So I think this looks so fun. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off with my eyes, and then I guess I'll finish off the face too, because this is a 3-look video, and I'll just tell you what I used when I'm back on the final look. So I will be right back. Okay, so this is the look all done. Obviously, I added a lot of everything, so maybe this ended up being a little bit much, and my eyeliner got totally out of hand, and I had to like extend it under my eye because otherwise it would look crazy, but this is the completed look, and I think it turned out really, really nice. So for my eyeliner, I wanted to kind of tie in with my inner corner and use some blue, so I used Lady Lagoon by Fenty. Oh, I just love this eyeliner so much, you guys. It is like my favorite eyeliner in my collection. Like if I could only keep one, I would keep this one. It's so beautiful. And then for lips, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Like my first instinct was just to go with a nude, but then I'm like, that's kind of boring. And I have so many beautiful red lipsticks that I never feel like I have a chance to wear because they never go with my looks. So I pulled out this one. This one is from Lancome. I got this from Octoly last year, and I've only used it twice. And it is such a beautiful cream lipstick. It's almost got like a bit of a, it's hard to explain what the finish of it is. It's almost like it's a little bit on the waxy side, but like in the best way possible. It's just so comfortable, and I love like the finish of it. It's so flattering on the lips. So that's what's on my lips. For my blush, I used the Serafina blush by Juvia's Place. This is kind of like a corally blush. I don't know, I felt like it would just go well with my look, and then I dug in my highlighting drawer to see if I had something I hadn't used in a while, and I decided to use my Dior highlighting palette. I've had this for such a long time. This was a favorite of mine. Like the first year I was on YouTube, I used this almost every single day. So I used this pink shade right here. This palette is so beautiful. I totally forgot like how good the finishes in this is. So that is what is on my face and my eyes and my lips, and I really like it. I feel like it really came together, and I just think it is so fun. So I cannot wait to do another look. So let's go ahead and move into look number 2. It's the next day, we're gonna do another look, and I think for today's look, I'm going to use my NARS primer to prime with, just because I want to try out this formula with, you know, multiple eyeshadow primers, just to see if there is a difference at all. And I think for today's look, I want to do something with some of the kind of grunchier neutral tones. I know that's crazy. I also want to play a little bit with the greens in the palette, so I think that's kind of like the color story that we're going with today. And so far, I've just been so impressed by this palette, and I'm having such a good time with it. Like, I woke up this morning and I was like so excited to start filming because I knew I was going to get to play with this palette again, and that doesn't always happen. Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I really don't want to play with this palette anymore, but then if I'm in the middle of filming a 3-look video, it's like, need to just get it done, you know? But like, I'm honestly just excited to play with this again. I think I'm going to start this look going from light to dark because I feel like this formula is going to be quite buildable, and I also just want to try it. So I'm going to go into the second shade here, which is kind of like a mustardy brown. And I want this to be quite an easy look, so I'm just going to go ahead and use this as my transition shade as well as underneath my eye. So I'm not going to do anything fancy with this, not going to do a cut crease or anything like that. I'm basically just going to put 2 shadows in my crease and then probably a couple on my lid and call it a day. I feel like I said in my first impression video, that this palette is just, it's meant to be used for doing like quick and easy looks, and I feel like this color story really makes it so that doing quick and easy looks are possible, just because there are so many mattes that can be blended into each other, that can be blended out with each other, and it just makes for a very cohesive palette and something that you don't have to really think that hard about, because there is enough of a gradient in a lot of these shadows that you can like just pick 2 and like build them on each other and then pop a shimmer on the lid and be out the day. Like, it's so easy to pair colors together here, and I feel like they did such a good job with the color story in this palette. I'm having the best time ever. I really feel like this is going to be in my, I don't want to say top 5 palettes of the year, that might be a bit of a stretch, but right now I think this is the palette that I have enjoyed working with the most this year. I don't know if that is crazy. I don't know if it is better than the Kaleidos palette. I feel like Kaleidos has better shimmers, but I feel like this color story is a little bit more me, and I don't know, it's so easy to work with. There's just something about this palette that it just gets to me. I don't know what it is, you guys. Just going to quickly smoke that out under my eye as well, and then we're going to go in with the dark brown. And I really like the tones of the browns in these, because this one is more of like a warm mustard, and then the other one is almost like more of a cool tone, and I just think that that's going to look so good together. I'm next going to grab the shade called Haystack here, which is that dark brown, and I'm going to basically use this to deepen up my crease with, and also put that in my outer corner of my eye. Oh, that is a beautiful shade. Wow. It's rare that I compliment a brown, but that's actually really, really nice. Did you see how easy that was? Like, I feel like that went on so smoothly and so easily. Wow, I don't know, guys. I promise I'm not being paid to make this video or say any of these things. Just gonna go back in with that brush that I use for my transition shade and just make sure that my crease is nice and blended. Just very quickly run that over here. And I'm thinking for my lid, I just want to use the green shimmer here. I think that's what I want to do, and then pop a little bit of this in my inner corner. Maybe I'll do a little bit pink in my inner corner. I don't know. I want to kind of use two of the shimmers, but I also want this to be a very simple look. I mean, obviously, if you're into like very neutral looks, you could just go in with that bronze on the lid and basically call it a day. Pop a little bit of this in the inner corner, call it good. That's obviously not what I'm going to do, because that is not really me. So I'm going to go into this green here, but first I'm going to put down a little bit of my NYX glitter primer. Just going to pop that basically all over my lid where I want that shimmer to be. I'm probably gonna do it in a bit of a half cut crease shape, but I don't want it to be a sharp line like up here where the cut is, because I don't want it to be a cut crease, and I am probably going to blend that shimmer into my crease a little bit, so I'm not taking this glitter primer up too high so that it does create a sharp line. Just kind of patting it all over the middle of my lid. Gonna grab some of that green shade now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place that, like I said, all over my lid. That is really, really pretty. Such a beautiful color. And I'm then just going to kind of work on blending this into my crease a little bit by just putting more shadow on my brush and just wiggling it around. So now that the shadow is on the lid, I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more of that brown and just make sure that the outer edge is looking nice and blended. And I'm thinking for my lower lash line, maybe this is kind of crazy, but I want to take a little bit of the shade Sunshine, which is a beautiful corally orange, and I just want to pop a little bit of that just like in the inner portion here. And then for the very inner corner, I'm going to use that shade Wisp that I've used in my other looks. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this right down here for like an extra pop of color. See, I think that looks very cool. So I'm gonna grab the shade Wisp now, just kind of wiping off my brush here, and I'm just gonna put that in the inner corner. I think the only thing I would change with this color story is I would make this shade here a little bit more warm tone, like a bit more of a champagne, because I feel like it doesn't really go with the warm tones that I'm using. But if it had been a more yellow-based inner corner shade, I feel like it would go with both the cool tones and the warm tones. I don't know if that is just me, but I feel like it's looking a little bit stark combined with these warmer tones that I have. It definitely worked much better with the cool tone looks that I've done so far. But I mean, it still looks really, really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my eyes. finish off my face. I'll come back and tell you what I did, and that's gonna be look number 2. Okay, so here is the look all done, and I think this turned out very, very nicely. I feel like this is my kind of neutral but with a pop of color kind of look, if that makes sense. So in my waterline, I used Teaspoon from Colourpop. Let me know if I'm the only one who bought these like a while ago and they're starting to go bad. I don't know if it's going bad, but I'm having such a hard time getting them into my waterline lately. I never used to have issues with that, but I feel like it's just because I've had them for quite some time and they're kind of drying up a little bit. So I hope that they restock these soon because I would totally repurchase them again. I feel like they really make such a big difference in my looks, and I wouldn't want to be without these, and I'm totally okay with like repurchasing a whole new set every 2 years. So let me know if I'm the only one who's kind of had the Colourpop eyeliners dry out, because I'm kind of at that point right now. For my blush, I used my Natasha Denona Mini Bloom blush because I don't know what to tell you. I can't help myself. Let's see, what else? For my highlighter, again, I used my Dior highlighting palette, and today I used this kind of champagne-y shade. I've totally forgot how much I love this. It is such a beautiful formula. Need to play around with this a little bit more. And then for lips, I kind of went back and forth on like what kind of color to do. I almost wanted to match my hair because I just didn't know what else to do. But then I remembered that I have this one from Menagerie. This one is in the shade Leo. And I just thought that it's basically the same color as my crease color and that would kind of tie everything together. And I think I like how this looks. Yeah, let me know. I'm very happy about this look. The only thing that I would change, like I said, is the tone of the inner corner, but I mean, that's obviously not something I can really do anything about when I'm just using this palette. I could have topped it with something, but I just want to use this palette on its own and see what kind of looks I can, you know, pull out of it. So that's going to be it for look number 2. Let's go ahead and move into the last look. Okay, for this third look, I've already primed my eyes with my Smashbox primer. I haven't really noticed any difference between the primer with this formula, which is a good thing because it means it just works. So I think for this last look, I want to try to do something a little bit more on maybe the graphic side, because I feel like a lot of the pictures that were in the catalog that they sent me had a lot more graphic and editorial and kind of like artsy what am I trying to say? Makeup looks in it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's still going to be like, you know, a makeup look. It's not going to be like me painting art on my face, but I do, like I said, want to try to do something a little bit maybe more on the editorial side. So I think what I want to do is make kind of like a very winged out look today, but more on the, I don't know, you're just going to have to see. I don't really even have this planned out. So what I'm going to do first though is I want to pop a little bit of something in this upper corner like I really like to do. So I'm going to take the shade here called Dancers. I think this is one of the few mattes that I haven't used yet. So really the only shades that I haven't used in this palette, I'm pretty sure is the bronze now. So I'm probably not going to be touching that because honestly, I just don't really care. I haven't used this one a lot either, so maybe I'll dip into that one. I don't know, we're just gonna have to see. I'm also probably going to use a little bit of this matte green because I just wanna play with that a little bit more. Have I even used that? I'm not sure. I feel like maybe I haven't used that. It just looks in the pan that I've used. Anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna go in with the shade Dancers. And I'm just gonna tuck that in the upper portion here like I do quite often because I just think it's fun, you know? And I also think that I'm gonna use a little bit of that green, like I said. I feel like those are going to complement each other quite nicely. I really like how soft the tone of this orange is, or I guess it's more of a coral. I need to blend this a little bit better here. But I think what I'm gonna do next is, let's see, should I use the blue or should I use the green? I feel like no matter what I do, it's going to clash with my outfit already. I'm just the worst at like pre-planning what I'm going to wear to what makeup I'm doing. Usually I just get dressed and figure out what I want to wear, and then I go to do my makeup and I just do the makeup that I want to wear, and then they always clash. But either way, let's go into Undergrowth. I'm pretty sure I have not used this. I'm going to use this on a very, very small, I think this is a prototype brush from referral. This is the P23. They might have this in the concept store sometimes. I honestly don't know. I don't even know if they're going to release this, but it's kind of like a tiny, 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 tiny bullet brush. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's got kind of like a rounded top on it. So I'm gonna use this to create a bit of a wing shape on my outer portion of my eye. I'm gonna start under my eye actually and kind of run that like halfway across, and then I'm going to use the outline for this, or the angle I should say, to wing this out with. I'm just gonna really take my time with this because I do want this to be quite precise. So it's going to be quite a dramatic wing because, I mean, wouldn't be me otherwise, would it? And I think what I want to do is I'm going to connect that to the hood of my eye here. Just gonna bring that in. This is kind of like how I do my big wings with liquid liner too, but I usually have shadow on already. But like I said, I do want this to be more of a graphic look, so I'm really only going to take the color like on the actual hood of my eye here. I mean, if you don't have hooded eyes, you have no idea what I'm talking about or trying to do now. But you can probably do something similar on your eye shape anyway. If you don't have hooded eyes, you just don't have to really worry about the placement as much. So now when I look up, it's gonna look a bit like this. So it's kind of like a cool angle, I guess you could call it. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit here. And then I'm going to bring this color through my crease as well and make it a bit of a sharp line. I want this line to be like right in my crease, maybe a little bit above, but I want this to be kind of graphic and I don't really want this to be showing when my eye is open as much. Like, I just want it to look like a big green wing, kind of. Like, I don't know. I've never done anything like this, so I don't really know where I'm going with it, but I thought it could just be fun to, you know, try something new and something a little bit different. I'm just gonna bring this in about to where that orange is. So something like that, I think that looks kind of cool. I'm gonna try to do the same thing on the other eye. Who knows if I'll be able to do that. Maybe I'll just end up filling this all in with green, but let me go ahead and try at least, and then maybe we can put something on the lid as well. I don't know if I even want to do anything on the lid. Maybe just that very, very light shimmer. Maybe I'll do the orange shimmer. I don't know. Let me do this eye. So as I'm sure you could probably tell while I was doing that, I had to kind of go back and forth a little bit to make sure that they were even, because this side ended up being way different than this one. But I think what I want to do next is I want to pop a little something on my lid here. So I'm going to go into the shade Wisp. Not going to use any glitter primer or glitter glue or anything like that, or spray my brush. I just want like a kind of a slight wash of color here. Like if I had some kind of a nudish shimmer, I probably would have used that instead, but I think this is going to get the job done here. I just want to have a little something on my lid. And I'm just filling in everywhere where I don't have any shadow, and I'm probably going to blend this ever so slightly just into that green color. So I think that looks pretty cool. I mean, I feel like I haven't really done a look like this before, which is always fun to just try something a little bit different. And I do feel that graphic wings and graphic liners and stuff are very good for my hooded eyes, because I do have a lot of room like on the hood of my eye, on the top of the hood of my eye. It sounds so weird to say that, but I have room there to do like liner work, so it usually works out. Like, I'm always so jealous of the people who can do like big actual wings and like shadow wings and stuff like that, like on their top lid, because that always transfers on me. So the only thing I can use as an actual liner on my top lid is something that is waterproof, so like a liquid liner or a liquid lipstick or something like that. Anything else would just transfer into my crease. But with a look like this, where I have the liner above my crease, like I don't really have anything to worry about, because it's not going to like touch my lid, if that makes sense. Just gonna take a little bit more of that green. Like when I'm looking straight ahead now, I can see that I have a little bit of shimmer just right up here. I really don't like having shimmer like above the hood of my eye. It just makes my eyes look so much more hooded. How many times can I say hooded in one video? I don't know, but it's just one of those things. If you're gonna talk about it, you have to say it, you know? Just gonna take that right over where I put down that shimmer. Okay, so I think this looks pretty cool. I think this is where I'm going to leave it with the shadow part. Do I want to do anything on my lower lash line? I mean, the answer is always yes. I just don't know what. Maybe I will take a little bit of the shade Coast. Is that going to mess everything up? I don't know, but we're gonna try anyway. I feel like this is the point where I just end up adding too much and it looks crazier than it already is. But like I said, I can't help myself. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this though with some Fix Plus here, just so we can be able to place this a little bit better and not get any fallout. So I'm just going to take that on the first portion of my lower lash line here and just kind of meet it up with that blue. I'm actually not going to take this all the way out to the green. Did I say blue? I meant green. I'm going to take this about 2/3 of the way, and then I'm going to go back in with the green and kind of meet these up. Or maybe I won't even do that, because why do they have to meet up? They definitely don't. Do I want to do anything else? That is the question. I mean, I feel like this looks pretty cool. I don't know about you guys. It's not something that I've really ever done. Looking in the mirror, it looks okay. In the viewfinder, I'm like, I don't know. But I'm gonna finish off and I'll be back and show you the look, and then we can talk a little bit more about this palette. Alright, so as you can see, I changed because this look did not go with what I was wearing whatsoever, which, story of my life. Let's see, what did I do to finish? I put on some orange blush because I just thought it would really go with like the orange accent that I have here. So this is So Retrograde from ColourPop. I don't know if this was a limited edition collaboration. I know they did this with Kathleen Lights. I don't know if they still sell this, but this is a beautiful glowy orange blush. I don't have anything like it in my collection other than that one. For my highlighter, I used one of the Better Lace Beauty highlighters. This one is in the shade Coral Cove. I thought it would go very nicely with this look, and I really like this. And to finish off for my lipstick, I also used one from ColourPop. This is in the shade 7 Springs. I don't know if this is available anymore, but I just felt like it would match that orange that I had perfectly. And I also used the ColourPop white eyeliner in my waterline. So that's how I finished off the look, and I really, really like this look. It's very different. It's not like anything else that I think I have ever done before, so I quite like it. Let me know what you think. Now let's talk about my final review on this palette. Now, honestly, I'm so sad that this 3 looks 1 palette video is over. I could do so many more looks with this. I'm so inspired still when I look at this. And like I said, I just think that this is going to become one of my favorite palettes, even though, like I said in my first impression, like the shimmers in this palette isn't anything outstanding.
So I feel like maybe it's coming across as if I don't like the shimmers at all, which is totally not the case. The shimmers are good. They're just not like that sparkling kind of metallic-y with a lot of glitter particles in it that I've seen from other brands. They're very good basic shimmers. So please don't feel like I'm saying they're bad, because they're definitely not bad by any means.
But the quality of the palette as a whole is so good that it's so easy to work with. The color story is so nice. There's just nothing I don't like about this palette. Honestly, this palette is just awesome. It's just great. Honestly, that's really all I gotta say. The mattes are very pigmented, very bright, very buildable, very easy to work with. The lasting power has been great on this. My eye looks have looked perfect at the end of the night, every single night when I've used this. With all the different eyeshadow primers that I've used, I got nothing else to say, honestly. I just think that this palette is as close to perfect as you could get. The only thing that I would like is a little bit more oomph in the shimmers, but I totally get where they were going, and that was kind of like the whole point that they made the shimmers the way that they did, because of like the editorial looks and stuff that you could do with them. So yeah, I love this palette so much. I really love this brand so much, and I just cannot wait to see what they come out with in the future. Like, I know that if I never get sent anything from them ever again, like, I'm just going to buy it myself, because I just love this brand. I don't know what else to tell you. So that's gonna be it for my review on this. This is probably one of the best reviews that I've ever given anything, so I feel like that says a lot. So thank you so much for watching one of my 3 looks 1 palette videos. As always, if you want to see some other ones, here's my playlist, and if you're new, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.